going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneck Shark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review and see what movie I ended up seeing. So welcome to an all-new movie review there out there in YouTube land, Facebook land, Twitter land, and all those wonderful lands out there. Welcome! So the movie I'll be talking about today is one I actually just saw a couple days ago. It just came out this last Friday, and is a CGI animated film done by Dreamworks Animations, and also subsequent Pearl. Now, this film is a, interesting and fun type of, kind of idea and contrast of, a subject matter, which a lot of people are always interested in because, these creatures have always, inspired some great movies, some great ideas, and just great, creative thinking. And so when I found out that they were actually going to be releasing this film, I had no idea that they were releasing another one about this creature. And I was just like, really? Another one? Because, I feel like the last couple years we've had a ton of this creature again kind of resurfacing, and I think it's kind of fun. But this awesome film, I think, is just really fun. I had great musical track. It was very well created, great writing, and all kinds of great stuff. And then, of course, is the film called Abominable. Oh, yeah. Abominable, yeah. Coming in at an hour and 27 minutes, this awesome film is so much fun. Like I said, it had great writing, great story, great music, great voice casting, and just was a really fun and just really well executed, CGI animated film. Now, to start this off, I'd like to talk about the director herself. Now, the director of this film was actually a character artist. She's done a lot of script writing for other films. She's actually was a part of Pixar Animation for a while. She was a part of Sony Pictures Animation, and then she subsequently has become a part of DreamWorks Animation. And that, of course, is Miss Jill Colton. Oh, yeah. So Jill Colton, like I said, it has been a character artist, a writer for several Disney, Pixar films, has done Sony Animation, all kinds of cool stuff. And this is actually only her second directorial debut. Now, her first directorial debut is also a Sony Animation picture film that came out back in 2006. And that, of course, is the film called Open Season. Oh yeah, which I think is a really fun film. I thought it was really well directed for, its time. I thought the animation was really unique for its time. And I also thought that it was just a really fun type of, kids animated friendly, even adults can like film, because I think it was just a really fun film. And I thought it was really well executed, and I thought it was a really great directorial debut for her. And she really showed the type of directing chops she had, to show you that, what Abominable would come out to be, and that's what I felt Open Season really showed. And if you're not familiar with what Open Season is about, basically it's about this bear that has been treated like a pet, who goes into the wild for the first time with this wild, either I can't remember if he's supposed to be an antelope or if he's supposed to be a deer, but he's supposed to be one of those types of creatures. And basically, Martin Lawrence voices the bear, and he goes out in the wilderness for the first time and learns what it's like to be like a real animal. And it's just a fun film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. But when it comes to Jill's directing of that film, I thought that she did a great job. Really well done. I thought that she really showed, the great amount of, history of animation and directing and all that stuff she's had behind her, that brought her to that point in her career, and did a really great job. Now, when it comes to directing Abominable, though, I thought that she did even better, and made this great, amazing film that had so much heart and story and courage to the film, that really, hit a tone in me, and gave me this, gave me this really great feeling, and just like how much you really fall in love with these characters, and how much you enjoy the story, and about friendship, and losing a loved one and stuff like that. It's just a really fun and really well done film, and I thought Jill did a great job at directing it and giving us this really new and great, different type of animated film for all generations to enjoy. Definitely really well directed, and looking forward to seeing more from her. Now, this brings me to the awesome voice cast of this film. So, the awesome voice cast of this film is of a whole bunch of great just people that have, lent some great voice talents to films over the years, have been in lots of movies over the years. Some are, veterans, some are, newly on the scene, have only been around for the last, 10 years and so forth. And all of them just did a really amazing job and gave us these great performances in this film. Now, to start off this awesome cast, we have none other than the main girl herself, Miss Yi in the film, Miss Chloe Bennett. Oh, yeah. So, Chloe Bennett has done a few things over the years. She's a singer, she's an actress, she's an activist, she's all kinds of cool stuff. And one thing that, she's really known for is just kind of bit parts on different types of TV shows over the years. Really hasn't done very many movies, done a few here and there, but some are, really fun films, some are really fun shows, and just really great, performances. Now, the first show I like to talk about that she's part of, that she's actually been a main character on since the conception of the show back in 2013, is the great TV show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, yeah. She plays the character Quake in the TV series. And from the few episodes I've seen of it and her performance, I thought that she did a really decent job. I really enjoyed her performance. I thought she did a great impersonation, a catch on who Quake is from the comic books, and kind of giving us this, new fresh take on the character Quake. And kind of seeing her evolve from what that character starts out as to, where it is in the current season. And just all the things that she's really brought to life with this character that we really haven't seen other than in the comic books. I thought she's done a really amazing job, really well done, and just given us a really fantastic performance. Really fun show. If you haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, it comes to Chloe Bennett's performance in Abominable. She actually does a really fantastic job. I really enjoyed her characterization of the character Yi. And I really enjoyed how she brought her to life and gave us this really great interpretation of what it'd be like, to be a person, unfortunately who has lost their father, and basically is trying to do all these things to keep their mind occupied, not to deal with the loss and all kinds of stuff like that. Kind of alienating herself from her family, her friends, and all kinds of stuff like that. And I thought that Chloe did a really good job of projecting that, type of structure of a person into the character through the awesome CGI animation in this film. And just, I thought that she really brought to life, gave us this great characterization of this character, and just did a really fantastic job. Her performance really was fun. I really enjoyed her character, really fell in love with her character, and wanted to know more about her, and just thought that she did a really great job of bringing us this great, character Yi to the big screen. So that brings me to the second awesome voice actor for this film. Now, the next person I'm going to talk about is an awesome kid voiceover and actor who I feel is super funny. Everything I've seen him in, he's always been on point and super hilarious. And that, of course, is Mr. Albert Tsai. Oh, yeah. So Albert, you might recognize from a few shows over the years. You might recognize him from some movies, some voiceovers, and stuff like that. He recently has been cast in the lead role of a Disney Channel show called Osama, and he is basically kind of like the titular catcher in the TV show. But you might recognize him from that. But a couple things I enjoyed him in and thought he was fantastic in was none other than a great TV show that only lasted 2 seasons on ABC, which I really wish they had gone longer. This show was so fantastic, so amazingly done, great performances by everyone involved. And that, of course, is a show called Dr. Ken. Oh yeah, absolutely love the show. Ken Jeong was so freaking funny. He was perfect in that role. Everyone that was in the show, too, was on point and perfect. And Albert was so fun as his son in the show, I should say. And he was just, every time he came on, he was so stinking funny. And I always laughed at anything he said because he was always on point and has that great comedy, element to his acting bravado, and he just is so freaking hilarious. I really enjoyed Albert in the show. I thought he did a great job and just was super fun and hilarious in the show. Always looking forward to more from Albert because he's just so stinking funny. Especially, he really proved his comedic chops in Dr. Ken. Another show that Albert did a few cameos throughout the seasons has been a show that is considered a huge hit on ABC as well, that has lasted, I think it's on its 6th or 7th season now, maybe 5th, I'm not 100% sure, but this show is just really fun, really hilarious, showing you what it's like to be basically, coming from a foreign land and, coming to America and trying to, make ends meet and try to be, a new adapted person into a whole different culture. And this show is considered a big hit and just really fun to watch. And I've seen like a few episodes and I've seen trailers and stuff, and this show is pretty funny what I've seen. And then of course this show called Fresh Off the Boat. Oh yeah. So Albert has had a few cameos throughout the season as a recurring type of character, and from what I've seen of the episode I actually got to see him in, he was absolutely on point once again. He was so freaking funny. He worked so well with everyone involved and just made a really great little character, that he really brought to life in that show. And it just was so much fun. If you're a fan of Albert Tsai and you want to see more of his stuff, definitely check out his little parts in Fresh Off the Boat. They're so freaking funny, so fun, and great performance by Albert, hands down. Now, it comes to his performance as the character in Abominable. He was actually so fun to listen to because he's kind of going through that phase now in life where he's going through, voice changes. So, like, in the movie, his voice is kind of, like, cracking at certain points, and that made the character even funner to watch. And I just thought it was funny at some points he'd be, like, saying something, all of a sudden he'd be like, eh. And I was just like, oh my god, that's, like, such, like, a, teenager growing up, basically. And, like, it was on point. And just a great character, and it really helped the character be even funnier. Because the character really is super funny in the movie, and you really enjoy his character, and Albert just brought it to life and gave us this great, character. And I just thought it was a really, hands down, great performance. Definitely check out Abominable for Albert Tsai's, awesome performance. He was so perfect in it and so fun. Next up on the acting voice bravado for this film is none other than an actress that we all recognize from the several seasons of the great FX series American Horror Story. And she's also been in, a whole bunch of different films over the years and TV shows and so forth. She most recently was in the, FX-led series about O.J. Simpson's trial, and she played Marcia, the main attorney trying to get O.J. convicted for the murder of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. And she's just, a very versatile actress. And that, of course, is Miss Sarah Paulson. Oh, yeah. So Sarah Paulson, we all recognize from a slew of things over the years. Like I said, American Horror Story, O.J. Simpson, TV anthology series, and so forth. But a couple things that I've seen her in and thought that she was pretty fantastic in. It was none other than a great film that came out in 2003 that stars Ewan McGregor, Renee Zellweger, David Hyde Pierce, Tony Randall, shortly before he passed. And it just was a really fun kind of musical comedy, rom-com type of film. And then, of course, the film called Down with Love. Oh yeah, absolutely love this freaking movie. I think it's so stinking funny. I love that it's like the 60s style, 50s style type of film. Great music, great costumes, and just Sarah Paulson's character in the movie is just so stinking hilarious. I love her character. I think she's absolutely hilarious. I think it's one of her best roles to date. Just her performance along with Renee Zellweger bouncing off each other, and then her interactions with David Hyde Pierce and stuff like that were just so on point and so hilariously and well done. One of my all-time favorite performances by her. If you haven't seen Down with Love, people, definitely check it out. It's worth the watch. The second film that Sarah Paulson was in that I truly enjoyed her character was an awesome film that just came out at the beginning of this year, and that is a third film in a trilogy that was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And that, of course, is the awesome film Glass. Oh yeah, Glass. Woo! So Glass is the third film in the Unbreakable trilogy, as it's been known to be called. Basically about, Bruce Willis's character James McAvoy's character, and basically they finally come together in the same universe in Glass. Now, in Glass, Sarah Paulson plays the lead kind of psychiatric character of the psychiatric ward where Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson and James McAvoy's characters are. And she plays a really, evil type of character, and I enjoyed it because every time I see Sarah Paulson, she kind of just I don't like her. She's always annoying to me in American Horror Story. And so it was kind of fun to see her play kind of a role that I could just not like her when I didn't really like her acting to begin with, even though I loved her in Down with Love, because that's pretty much the only film I really enjoyed her performance in. And, in this, though, she, just plays the character to the T and really well. And just how her character evolves throughout the film, she was very good at, bringing it from that beginning to how she ends up at the end of that character. Because she did a good job of not really portraying of who she really was. You're just kind of watching her give us a, contradiction or a kind of progression of who that character is and what she's really about. And I just thought that Sarah did a decent job of bringing that to life and made the role very fun, interesting, and just a good, good addition to that film. Really, hands down, pretty decent and second best role, I think, of hers of all time. That was really fun and enjoyable to watch. Now, it comes to her performance in Abominable. I really enjoyed how she played this character of this doctor character where she has the fake Australian accent and gives us this, kind of different vibe. She once again plays a bad guy character, which was really fun. And I thought she does a really good job of playing those characters. And at the same time, she just really brings to life that character with those vocalizations. And I thought that was a really fun and a great addition to that film. And also, I just thought that the accent that she used was you could tell it was fake, but at the same time, it went well with the character and just gave the character more of a meaning oh, is this woman really who she says she is throughout the movie as you're watching it? And then when you finally see the reveal, you're like, oh, that's awesome. You're just like, that's really cool. That's a great idea. That's, an awesome way of kind of bringing us a different type of villain and giving us a different type of take on a villain. And just kind of, changing it from the most common type of criminal where they're just criminal right out of the bat, whereas you find out that they're a villain. I just thought that was a great way of producing that and how Sarah did a great job of portraying that. And just thought that was a great idea from the movie people that created the film and just made that really fun. Definitely not a bad performance, and definitely check out if you're a Sarah Paulson fan. So that brings me to the final actor that lent his voice for this film. Now, this awesome actor, I think, is a great comedian. I love pretty much anything he's in. I think he's always on point and funny and just a real fun and wonderful joy to watch. And he's a great stand-up comic, and he just does a great job. And that, of course, is Mr. Eddie Izzard. Oh, yeah! Eddie Izzard! Oh, yeah! Mr. P from Mystery Man and so forth. I mean, he's been in some great films over the years, and just lots of great, even small parts that were just on point and really fun to watch. Now, a couple I really enjoyed that he has participated in. It was a great movie that came out in 2007, 2006, that stars Luke Perry and the awesome Uma Thurman. And it's just a really fun kind of take on a superhero type of film. And that, of course, is the film called My Super Ex-Girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Absolutely love Eddie Izzard in this film. He plays the main bad guy. He's absolutely freaking hilarious. Absolutely, hands down, one of his best roles, I think, to date. Just how he presents this character and just every line he produced in this film was so on point and perfect and so stinking funny. And just the whole combination of all the actors that were involved in the film, from Uma Thurman, Luke Perry, Rainn Wilson was in the film. They all worked so well together, and the characterization of Eddie Izzard's character just point blank worked well with every single character. And his real name, and he's like, don't call me that name, and stuff like that was just so stinking hilarious. Really great performance by Eddie Izzard in that film. If you haven't seen My Super Ex-Girlfriend, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. The second film that the awesome Eddie Izzard was in is another voiceover role that he did, and I thought was a really fun film that I don't feel got enough recognition for how fun of a film it was. And then, of course, a film that came out a couple years called Rock Dog. Oh, yeah, Rock Dog. He actually plays this cat character in the film that is like a DJ slash kind of record producer type of character. And it's just a really fun and silly role, and like just the look of the cat and Eddie Izzard's voice was like on point and perfect looking. And you're just like, oh my god, that totally makes me think of Eddie Izzard. And he just was so stinking hilarious again. And just giving these great one-liners throughout the film role. And just gave us this really fun performance that really was brought through the characterization of the CGI. And just was a really fun and awesome and just really well done role. If you haven't seen Rock Dog, definitely check out Eddie Izzard's performance in it. He was like super funny. It just was a really well-rounded and fun animated film, and just really great performance by Eddie. Definitely check out, people. It's worth the watch. Now it comes to Eddie's performance in the awesome Abominable. He was perfect because the character looked very much similar to him, and like was perfect like for that older gentleman that, you know, had originally saw an abominable snowman back in the day, and now he's an old man and still trying to prove that he's seen them. And just his characterization was so on point and fun, and just a really fun character. You really come to like kind of love him throughout his progression throughout the film, and it shows like just like how that voice was just perfect for that character and gave us this great performance by him. Really fun role for Eddie. Really great performance by that, you know, for that character, and just a really fun role. If you're a big Eddie Izzard fan, definitely check out Abominable for his performance in this. It was picture perfect and fun. Now, if you're not familiar with what Abominable is about, basically it's about this abominable snowman that is basically been captured by this company to prove that he exists. He escapes, and basically he ends up meeting Yi, this main character in the film, and she basically goes on an adventure with him to try to get him back to Mount Everest, where his family and where he is, and that's where his natural environment is, and where he's been basically taken from. And basically it's about that story about them trying to get him back, but at the same time help Yi kind of like figure out her future, her story, and to deal with, you know, basically all the heartbreak that she's had over the years, losing her father and kind of growing apart from her family. And it's kind of like a healing story with that takes place with an abominable snowman, with trying to get him back and discovering who she is again and bringing herself back to where she should be. It's a great story, great, amazing story. I mean, it was so beautiful. The animation was pitch perfect on every single one of the places that they were supposed to be at. It was like on point what it looked like in real life. It was just so beautifully done. Great film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, people. Worth a watch. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this film, guys. It's a really amazing film. Really enjoyed it. And looking forward to seeing more from Dreamworks Animation, because this one was a fantastic film and a great one done by Dreamworks. Really fun film. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out in theaters now, people. Really amazing. So that's it for this movie review, folks. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what do I got to do? Get the Abominable Snowman to sing you a song to get you to hit the button? Come on, people. Hit that button so you don't miss this video or any of the awesome videos I put up. As always, people, keep your eyes out for the older, new videos you might not see mine yet. As always, people, check out the awesome Stardust app. Check out the awesome Horror Pack, which is a great subscription service of awesome horror movies. Especially now that it is October. This is the greatest month to get horror films in. What a great deal you can get. You can either get 4 Blu-rays or 4 DVDs for a great low price. Also, down below, you'll find a awesome little button that you can push that'll get you a discount on your first month, too, on the Horror Pack. So definitely check that out, people. It's really worth it. And as always, people, catch you in the next one.